guys, it's Sarah and I have a series review to do for you today. I am going to talk about the You series by Caroline Kepnes. Now this series so far is 2 books. It is You and then the second book is Hidden Bodies. So I'm going to talk a little bit about both of them. This will be non-spoiler, so I will not talk about any spoilers at all during this entire video, so you can watch the whole thing without having read this, and I will still be able to give you my thoughts on it. So the first thing I want to talk about is that there are language and sexual situations in these books, very strong language. So if that's something that you're uncomfortable with, I would not read either one of these books because they do use extremely strong, curse words and things like that. And there are very explicit sexual situations in these books as well. So the first one is You. This came out in 2014. I picked this book up on Book Outlet, and I will leave links down below where you can buy this book. I'm not sure if Book Outlet has it anymore, but if it does, I'll put a link. If not, I'll put the Amazon link for it. So this book follows a man named Joe Goldberg. He is a 30-something living in New York City. He works in a bookstore, and one day a woman comes into his bookstore. She buys some books. He strikes up a conversation with her. He is immediately attracted to her. They start up a conversation. He runs her credit card. She leaves, and he takes the information that he got from her credit card, and he proceeds to stalk her. Joe is a stalker. Now, the interesting thing about this book is that you see everything from Joe's perspective. So you are inside Joe's head. No other perspectives are revealed in this book at all. It's all Joe. So you spend the entire time in a crazy stalker's head, and it's so interesting. So basically, Joe proceeds to stalk this girl. Her name is Beck. He figures out where she lives. He follows her. He figures out where she goes to school, and he follows her. He figures out where she hangs out and who her friends are, and he follows her. He eventually makes a situation happen where he inserts himself into her life, and they start forming a little bit of a friendship, and then they actually end up having a relationship. All the while, he is tracking her, so he knows exactly where she is. He knows exactly what she's doing, what she's saying, what she's wearing, what she's thinking, what she's eating. He knows absolutely everything, and she has no clue. So it's very, very interesting. In his mind, all of her friends become enemies to him because they are trying to take her away from him, or they're trying to do this to her, they're trying to do this to her. Even before they even got into a relationship, he viewed everyone in her life as an enemy. And it was very interesting. And he goes to some pretty drastic things to protect her from those people. He went a lot further than I thought he was going to, I'll be completely honest. But it's very, very good, and I will not give anything away, but oh my gosh, a lot happens in this book. I really thought it was cool to be inside the head of him, because you don't get a lot of books where you're inside the head of a stalker or inside of the head of a crazy person, because he pretty much is a crazy person. And it was creepy, and I really found myself justifying his actions, even though they were not okay. None of them were okay, but I found myself justifying them because I saw it from his perspective, and I saw it in his head, and I saw how he was viewing the world versus how a normal person would view the world. And I was like, it's okay. I was totally on Joe's side the entire time, which is not okay. It's not okay, Sarah. I don't know what Caroline Kepnes was trying to do, but I was totally on Joe's side. And when things happened in his favor, I was happy about it. And that's what drove me crazy about this book. I was just like, this is not okay. I should not be feeling these things. I should not be rooting for him, but I totally was. Obviously, he's a crazy psycho, and the stuff he did in this book are not okay. Obviously, I know that, but to read it and to have those feelings while I was reading it was so fun and interesting, and just, yeah, I don't know. I loved it. I thought it was brilliant, and I gave this book 5 stars. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the second book in this series, which is Hidden Bodies. I got this book for free from NetGalley so I could review it. This book comes out on February 23rd, so it's not out yet, but it is coming out soon. So in this book, we are still in Joe's head. The entire time we are still in Joe's head. However, he has found a new person to follow, and he actually ends up leaving New York City, and he moves out to LA to follow this girl. She does not know she's being followed by him. So he gets to LA and he loses track of her. And so you're kind of seeing him in this new environment, this new place. He doesn't know anybody. He doesn't have any clue where anything is. And you start seeing him form some new relationships in a new city, which I thought was really, really interesting. He starts kind of connecting with people and, just kind of trying to make his way around the city. All the while, he's still trying to find this girl because he has an agenda with her. So you see him kind of insert himself into some really interesting situations as well. There are celebrities involved, and he's meeting some celebrities and things like that. But all the while, he still has this girl in the back of his mind that he needs to find her, and that's kind of his main focus. At the same time, he ends up meeting someone else and forms a relationship with them. And that becomes something real and tangible. And then the other girl that he was following kind of falls in the back of his head a little bit. She keeps kind of coming in and out though, because he gets glimpses of her or he hears things about her. So it was really, really cool to see Joe, in a different situation and in a different city and see how he's building relationships, because in the first book, he already had relationships established, but in this one, he's building new ones. So you're kind of seeing how he makes friends. And one thing I noticed about Joe is that he is very good at getting women to trust him. He's very, very good at manipulating people into believing anything he says. And just, he can start out in a really bad situation with a woman, but then by the end of that conversation, she's like practically giving him her phone number. So it's very, very crazy just to see how women were almost automatically just trusting him, and the way that he's able to do that through his charm and his lying and things like that. I also, this book was a little bit all over the place, so I ended up giving it 4 stars instead of 5 like the first book, because the first book, he was in New York City. He had one person he was focusing on, and it was all just there. And when he moves to LA, he's kind of here and here and here, and then this happens and this happens and this happens. At the same time, I really liked that part of it because it gave me a new perspective on him and how he builds his relationships and how he makes friends, and kind of where those friendships go in his head and how those friendships are benefiting him, because he doesn't really try to make friends unless it's going to benefit him personally. So very, very interesting. I really, really liked both books. I liked You a little bit better than Hidden Bodies, but that's okay. I still really enjoyed Hidden Bodies. I flew through it pretty quickly. And those are my thoughts on that series. I really enjoyed both of them. I do not know if a third book is going to be written or not. I really hope so. The way the second book ended, I think there's definitely potential for a third book. So I really, really hope that there is. And if there is, I will snatch it up the second I can. I do not own Hidden Bodies. Like I said, I do have it on my Kindle, but as soon as it probably pops up on Book Outlet, I'll probably try to grab a hardcover, especially since I've already read it. I'm not going to pre-order it yet, but it was very, very good. I really enjoyed the series. Caroline Kepnes writes in a very beautiful and tough way. When you're in the mind of a psycho person, it's a little bit hard to read sometimes, but still, I was completely in love with the way that she wrote it, and the things that were happening just kind of shock you, and then, you appreciate it for what it is. All right, so that is my review of the You series as of so far. Hopefully there will be more. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Please let me know if you guys have any questions. If you want to talk about any of the spoiler things, we can definitely talk about them. But if you do leave a comment with a spoiler, please, write spoiler alert so that no one else can read it, so that no one sees it and wants to read it and, gets spoiled for anything. All right, please let me know if you have any questions, and I will talk to you guys again soon. Hope you have a great day. Bye.